Hey, right, shall we get our Archanaut Admiral built first? Now, this guy is essentially very similar to many of the other kits in the way that they go together for the Kharadron Overlords. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start off with his legs. Like so, and then the other one, there it is. Like thus. Right, then I'm going to glue him to the base. Like so. Right, then his head. So just holding it by the protrusion from the top of his helmet, just so that I'm less likely to get any glue on my fingers. Now, on his backpack, he has like some sort of weather measuring device, wind speed indicator, potentially. So that just goes together like that. I think that's good. Then I'm just going to come in and do his other arm. And he has this little servo arm, and this little globe goes on that. Like so. Just going to let that go off for a sec. Whilst that goes off, I am going to glue his head in to position. And then I'm not actually going to glue his backpack on so that I can get access to the back of him for the purpose of painting, but the little servo arm attaches here. Like so. And then it will attach to him like that. So there's a big slot in his back that will go into. And he'll look like that. Okay, so there's our etheric navigator. Right, now we have these, are they Grundstock? No. These guys are called Kharadron Sky Wardens. I don't know why that's all sticky. And there's a number of bits for this to go together. So we have our kind of like dirigible balloon. And then there's a little vent, if I can find it. There it is. That goes on this at the front. Like so, and we're going to glue our torso together. So torso, legs, one. So this guy is represented as flying, hence the flying stand, and as such his legs wouldn't be in a position to sort of like stand on the ground. Then what we're going to do is we're going to pop in the harness that will be for this dirigible balloon, and this comes in two parts, so make sure you get it around the right way. So one, and two, so. And then what would happen is your dirigible balloon sits in that harness like so. Now you've got these little, oh shit, they look like mines to me, and they're just capped off with a little additional spiky bit. That's not handy. Alright, so we've got a breakage. That's not good. But it's not the end of the world, as they say. Yes, these look like tiny little mines. You know, like the World War II sea mines with all the probes coming out of it? That's kind of what they look like to me. So now backpack with its fin. I do apologise if you can hear a screaming kid outside. Seems that somebody hasn't got their way. And then this is going to attach on the back. Like that. Pistol. That's better. One pistol, one harpoon. These harpoons are really cool. So you can do these harpoons however you like. And then the head, just kind of direct that on the pistol. Now this guy's got a little protrusion from his balloon, which from what I can tell goes in this little dimple here. Not all of them do have an extra bit, it's already moulded on, but for some reason this particular one you're gluing in that by itself. And then the final bit to glue on is going to be these floating mines, and they go in at the side here. So they'll attach in that way. And what I'll do is when this is dry, I will then glue this other mine back on, which will attach just there. So there you go. Those are the way that you build up the main figures in this. So we've got our figures previously done. Okay, so this is what they look like. So there's that one, and then that one as well. And now let's have a crack at the Grundstock hauler. So here we go. First things first, I'm going to come in and build up some sub-assemblies. So I'm going to build this etheric balloon first. And do that. Then I'm also then going to pop in the rudder, well, I think it's the rudder for the ship. So this thing here could just be an aileron, and this will go in there. Like so. Now I do recommend if you've got some tiny little spring clamps, I do recommend just using these to clamp that together, so that the bit holding the little aileron doesn't come off. Now we're going to be building these next. So these are just two parts. It's a so basically they're going to end up looking like that. Okay, and literally these two bits just glue together. That's it. Done. Now, on the front of your dirigible, you're going to have to put in a little face, little Kharadron Overlord face. So just try and square that up as much as possible. That looks about right. That's good. And then we also have our main part of the ship, and this is actually quite a dinky little thing. Now you have this main rudder. So when you put it in, just make sure you get it up the right way round. All right, but this is supposed to spin. Okay, they say don't glue, but you're gonna have to be really careful with the glue when you do this. Yeah, so some glue has seeped in there, I can feel it. So I'm just going to leave that to set like so. And then you're going to come in so you get kind of like a 3/4 circle, which is going to attach just there. And you're going to glue in the instrument panel for the pilot station just there. You're then going to come in and glue the wheel on, and that goes in there. Like so. This is then going to glue to this. Is your main ship, the main part of the ship. And that's looking great already. Love it. Right, let's just let that glue go off for a bit. Now, let's come back in. Let's take these off. So, on our main ship here, orientate these around the right way. So your engines are going to sit in the respective grooves. And to be quite honest, I'm just gonna glue these. So 1, 2, and then your dirigible balloon is going to just go on top like that. So I'm just going to let that go off slightly. Give that a few seconds, that's it, that's cool. And then you're going to have to probably hold this for a little while till the glue at least mostly goes off, not 100%, but and there you go. That's the main dirigible bubble balloon, whatever you want to call it, that's going to sit above your ship. Now, what's this going off? You've got an assembly that you need to make, and you need to make sure that you get these bits round the right way. And the right way is low and wide. Otherwise, they're not going to reach the relevant parts. So it's more of a flat X than a tall, thin X, because otherwise, if you don't get it right, these pieces won't marry up in the relevant pinholes on this. Now, gluing this together is, I think, because it says to glue it together and then glue it to your balloon. Personally, I think the best way to do this is going to be glue one side of the balloon like so. come. And then do the other side. Okay, sorry about that. I realised I ran out of space. Right, so as I was saying, make sure you get the cross bracing round the right way when you do this. It needs to be wide and flat more than thin and tall, because otherwise it won't fit in the relevant parts. And the easiest way to do this, I found, was match up these 2 points. So you got 2 points, you've got 1 point there, 1 point there. Match up those 2 points, add your glue, and then you can come down, and if it's just slightly off, then when you add the glue in, you can just pinch it, because because you're doing this as soon as you've glued this to the sides. Okay, so hopefully if you're not using super glue and activator, if you're using like a plastic weld or something like that, it'll give you a bit of time, bit of wiggle room, and then just pinch that across gently, and that will set in place. So there's your dirigible balloon assembly. Coming back to the boat, we are going to do a number of different things. So one of the things that we're going to do is add in these little wing tips. Just try and make sure that these are even. Okay. Then we're going to add in the cockpit surround, which is that. Right, now, I couldn't see anything on the instructions. We have a gap here, we have a hole. I couldn't see anything on the instructions, and I can't see a piece on the sprue. So this hole looks like it's just going to exist on our miniature, which is a shame. If you want to fill it in, you could cut yourself some plastic card, or something to just go in there. Now, a few other little things that are going to happen. One of them is we have this little, I don't know if it's going to be like a pitot tube or whether it's supposed to be a weapon or what, but we've got a little barrel thing which comes out at the front of the cockpit. And this is in 2 parts, and this is something, just be aware that the piece that the barrel muzzle or whatever it is, I think it's another weapon, is there. And it's you could lose it if you're not careful. Right. So this apparently goes in here. So just to have a look and see and make sure you get it around the right way. which I think is that, like so. Then we're coming in with the barrel for the main weapon. And this is in two parts. So the muzzle, again, is separate for this. And then this goes there. Right, now on the instructions, there's a slight print error because the instructions make it look like it should be a twin barrel, but it's only one. Okay, so in the instructions, you can see it looks like they've added in an extra barrel, but you know, in all other pictures later on, you will only see, so for example on the finished mini, you will only see one barrel. So just be aware of that. That is an error on the instructions. We've got this other dirigible balloon. That goes together in two halves. There you go. So and there is a seam all the way around, like a metal rim, which is fine. And then this goes in just here. So there's two contact points. That will go into. Like so. So just make sure that it's upright and aligned along the center axis of your mini. So I'm just going to pop this on the stand, and the stand is literally, you get the base and the flying base and just glue them on. So just going to pop that aside. So we have some assemblies which are these bomb racks, and these bomb racks sit on the underside of the ship, and they are made by placing our first set of bombs onto the attachment like so. And then what you do is you'll glue this set of bombs so that they're offset like that. So you have a rack of 5 bombs. I'm not going to glue these extra bombs on until after I've painted them. And then we have another set of, I'm assuming these are cannonballs for the cannon. Sorry, excuse me. So these just join together like so. And again, because of the location that these will be placed, it's going to be a bit difficult to paint them. So I'm not going to glue them to the ship for now. I am literally just going to have them so that I can paint them without hindrance. Now, if we bring our ship back, we have a control thing which will go on here for the gunner's position. Like that, or the breach I should say, rather than a control thing. Then underneath you've got some little dimples there, and these dimples will match up with two little dimples on the underside of your bomb rack, and that will be the position that you glue it in. So there's one on one side, and then the other side glues on like so. And then, as I say, once I've painted this, I'll just add on the other bombs. It's just so that I've got access. We then have a anchor, and the anchor hangs down facing rearwards. Like so. You also get this little crate. There wasn't any mention of it in the instructions, so it's just a little bit of extra. So let's just pop those in there, like so. And then this will sit like that, and then all I've got left to do is just build the miniatures. We also get this little other weapon tip that would replace the cannon as a spare, and then all I've got left to do is just build the pilot, which is fairly standard fare. I like that he's got a headdress which is kind of similar to an old fashioned steam, like Wild West steam train drivers. Cap. Do you know what? I honestly thought that those bits were part of the shoulder blade, but it seems that it might be a bit of sprue that I need to remove. And then he has a backpack. And then the gunner who's sat at the cannon, also has a backpack. Stick his head in. And then arms. There you go. So that's how this goes together. Best I can do, I think. And then the pilot stands at his wheel and add in your blimp, as it were. And that is your finished assembly. Alright, hopefully join me in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.